Hello everybody. I cannot believe today is March 21st. If you have not tuned in my channel real quick, basically what I'm trying to do is be one place that everyone can put one set of information about traveling through Canada during the crazy COVID-19 stuff to get to or from Alaska. I also been getting some questions about flying up to Alaska. Do you still need the COVID test? And the quick answer to that is no, you do not need the COVID test to fly to Alaska. So they finally eliminated that, thank God. Anyway, we're going to do something kind of a little bit different today. Instead of me sitting at my desk, because it's been freezing lately here. But anyway, we're going to do something a lot cooler. We're going to take you along with us. I'll have my wife with us. Anyway, just want to kind of update you what we're doing. If you haven't tuned in to me before, basically I'm going to give you, this is going to be a place where you're going to learn what you need to get through Canada during COVID to get to or from Alaska. And you're also going to learn, I'm going to share some emails with you about different things that's happened to different people along the way. So stay tuned. Hello everybody. I cannot believe it's been a week since we did our video. So today we figured we'd take you along with us to go show you where we get our drinking water. And it's at a spring almost in Talkeetna. Just a beautiful day today. I got Christina here. She's from Beverly Hills, 90210. She's always doing her makeup. So instead of me sitting in my office and you seeing a bald-headed guy and a flag in the background, today you'll actually get to see some beautiful Alaska as we give her tips. And when she's done getting all her makeup on, which will take at least 20 more minutes, then you'll have somebody a lot prettier to look at, which to me, she don't need makeup. But anyway, you'll have somebody a lot prettier to look at than just me. And we'll definitely give you guys some tips, but we're taking you along with us to show you where we get our water. It's kind of cool. All right, Christina, good luck with your makeup. What a beautiful day today. So this is Palmer. And the video, this little iPhone is just not going to do it justice, but just a beautiful day. The mountains are beautiful. So this is a little cute town of Houston. It's got a little Three Bears on the right. Jeez, gas is already up to $2.99 a gallon. So gas today at $2.99 a gallon. It's higher than that in some places. But anyway, it's got a little place to get some good ice cream. The Miller's Market. And that's pretty well Houston. Not a whole lot to it. Houston, Alaska for that matter. All right. Now we're heading to, I think the next city is Willow, and we're going to Sheep Creek Lodge. What a beautiful day. We'll be able to show you Denali, which this little iPhone camera won't do it justice, but we'll be able to show you that here in just a second. We are now coming into Willow, and I will show you when we top this hill. This camera won't do it justice. Keep in mind, it's probably about 100 miles away. But Denali, at over 20,000 foot tall, is right there in the background. Let's pull over and see if we can show a good picture of it. Look at how beautiful that is. That's Denali. Absolutely beautiful. That's as much as my camera will zoom. And like I said, we're just using an iPhone, but that's so beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Coming into Sheep Creek, that's Sheep Creek Lodge. So if you do know this area, we're on the Parks Highway. We're north of Willow, going towards Fairbanks or towards Denali, or towards Cantwell, whatever you want, however you want to reference it. And we're just north of Sheep Creek Lodge. So a lot of locals don't even know about this water here. When you cross past Sheep Creek Lodge, the very next turnoff to your right is where the water is. Coming up on it now. What a beautiful day. You can still see Denali in the background. And there's always people here getting water. right, we'll see you at the spring. So as you can see, it's pretty daggone thick snow, but basically we just walk off the highway down into here, and there's our water. Voila. So yeah, this is where we get our water. It's a little, as you can see, it's a little slick. It's an artesian well that comes out of the ground, and it's really good spring water. Really, really good. And everybody's like, oh God, you drink out of that pipe. Yeah, we do, and we love every minute of it. I can't see anymore, and I keep kind of twitching a little bit, but it hadn't bothered us that bad. I'm just joking.
That's not true. That's not true, only you. That has nothing to do with the water.
Yeah, I'm crazy without the water, right, Christina?
Yes.
As you can see, we got a little bit of water. Show them what the Beverly Hills girl looks like.
A little bit of water. A lot of water.
So what do you think about our spring water we drink?
I think it's good. I love it. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free, right?
Right.
From God. From Dios.
Exactly.
All right. Let's do this hillbilly video and update these people. You want to be my cameraman?
Sure I can.
All right.
Acción.
Acción in Espanol. All right, we just pulled off this place that's selling some lots over here close to Talkeetna. We just got our water out, and we wanted to get out of everybody's way because that's such a hot spot. As you can see, the sun is bright. That's one thing about Alaska. I tell you what, we lived in San Diego for 6 months, and we get more sun here. Don't let people fool you. We get more sun here than anywhere in the world, so it's a lot of sun. It's already coming up. It's already daylight by 6:30 in the morning, and it's not getting dark till 8 o'clock at night. And here it is only March, so we're about to have a lot of daylight. All right, so let's jump into this real quick. We got just a little bit of updates. We'll try to keep it shorter than normal. Val Roca says, are you allowed to sleep at a hotel in Canada right now? I heard they're only allowed Americans to sleep in their cars. So I get asked that question quite a bit, and I thought the same thing, and I thought there's no way that's even safe, and it would not be safe. The answer is they give you 6 days. It only takes 3. So you can only cross the border in 5 places. One of the two of the 5 places that I recommend crossing is at North Portal, which is just north of Minot, and then the other one being Couts, Alberta. I found out that is how you say it. It's not Coots, it's Couts. Couts, Alberta, which is north of Shelby, Montana, which is north of Great Falls, and that's where I've always crossed. We've been there like 5 or 6 times now, and that's where we always cross when we go up. That's where I recommend. I have heard North Portal is real good. Next week, I'm going to be doing a video of where to get fuel once you get out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm also going to be doing a video of different routes to take. So I recommend either spending the night in Minot if you want to cross North Portal, or spending the night in Shelby, Montana at the Best Western if you're going to go up that way, because that way you're starting early in the morning. Always start early in the morning. We had some car trouble, Christina and I did, on one of our times coming up, and thank God we'd started early, because when you start early, all the businesses are still open. You have options. So I recommend crossing Canada early on your first day, and you'll be out of Canada in 3 days, no problem. So not even a full 3 days. So they give you 5 to 6 days to get across. So there you go. So don't sleep in your car. Next week, I want you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Next week, we're going to go over where to sleep. I'll cover that in more detail. The next one's from Tim. Tim says, hi, Adam. I've been following your YouTube videos, and I'm curious on your opinion about my situation. I've lived in Fairbanks for 5 years and still have a truckload of stuff in the Midwest to move up to Fairbanks. I'm planning on buying a truck and a travel trailer down south and using that to get my belongings to my primary residence in Fairbanks. Everything I'm reading makes me think I should be able to get through, but I'm concerned of that appearance of having the travel trailer. Tim, and I think I wrote you an email back, as long as you go to the border and say, hey, I just bought this stuff, I'm taking it to my home. Because that's what I was doing. We did it to move our stuff from Montana back up. Christina and I both lost our jobs due to COVID. So we flew down. They wouldn't let us drive down, so we flew down. We bought a Ford Expedition. We bought an enclosed trailer, and we loaded all our stuff that we still had in Montana and moved it up. This was like 6 months after we lived here in Alaska. And when we sold the Expedition and we sold the trailer, we made such a good profit. I said, hey, here's a job opportunity for me. So I'd fly down and buy stuff and come back up. And I loved every minute of it. It was a lot of fun. So I'd love to do it again, but now I got a real job, so I can't. So the quick answer is, as long as you're going to your primary residence, as long as you have your Alaska driver's license, you're golden, Tim. Another one says, I saw your, Tiffany from Florida says, saw your channel. You seem really helpful. Wanted to get some advice if you don't mind. My husband and I are moving from Florida to Alaska in May. I'm flying up because I need to take care of some things with the house closing before he arrives. He'll be driving up in a U-Haul with all our items. He is bringing a friend along to help with the drive since it takes 4 to 6 days. My husband has proof he's moving up. However, our friend does not have that proof because he's going to be flying back down. The quick answer is this, and Tiffany and I talked on email, but I get this question a lot. We did this. My mom flew into Great Falls and drove up with us, and the guy almost didn't let her through because she lived in Alabama, and even though she was truly coming to help us, my wife had hurt her back a little bit. My mom was coming to help us, and they almost didn't let her through. So thank God we got a good agent that let her through. I told Tiffany we had reached out to the border, and this was in like late August, early September, and they've cracked down a whole lot more. So I'm hearing 60% of the people are turned around at the border not getting through. So it's very imperative that you have your documentation. Tiffany did reach out to the Canadian border people, and they told her the same thing I just told you, that no, the friend would not be admitted, and I would bet now they would not. I bet now they would not let my mom through. The next one says, Adam, I wanted to let you know we hit the Yukon checkpoint at Watson Lake today around 10:30 a.m. They were very nice, but it took 20 to 30 minutes. At the end of our stop, they asked how quickly we would be in Alaska. We said we're staying in Whitehorse tonight and hitting the Alaska border tomorrow. There was a dead silence. We had to sign a form saying we would not stay in Whitehorse and we would be out of the Yukon within 24 hours. We were traveling with 2 pups and had reservations in Whitehorse, which we kept tonight. Just wanted to let you know what's happening at the checkpoints now, John. So that was happening whenever I went through. So when you come into the Yukon, when you come into Watson Lake, they will stop you for like 30 minutes. The time I was going through, they almost had hazmat suits. I took pictures because it was almost comical. But anyway, so the rule is you're not allowed to stay in downtown Whitehorse. I've heard of a lot of people having like their cars spray painted or vandalized for staying down there. That's the reason I started staying in Haines Junction. However, I've talked to 3 people recently within the last week that stayed in Whitehorse and had no trouble at all. So it will be against the rules. I had another gentleman reach out to me that's in the Air Force that's moving down. I told him I probably would stay in Whitehorse just to break things up. I would stay in Tok the first night going down, then Whitehorse, then Northern Rockies Lodge. So don't stay in Watson Lake. It's a dump. Whatever you do, don't stay there. You'll be highly disappointed. So I did talk to John. John made it up. John didn't have any problems. He enjoyed. They went out to eat. Didn't have any issues whatsoever. I think he said they did a drive-through. I have talked to some people that went out to eat. I think as long as you blend in and you don't do anything stupid, you'll be fine in Whitehorse. I think now, if I went through, I probably would stay in Whitehorse. It's the better place to stay. Our last email is from Brad. Brad says he's from northern Maine. He recently took a job in Fairbanks, and he says, I'm in the process of driving up. I found your page a few weeks ago. I wanted to thank you for all you're doing. And I'm going to kind of roll down through here. But anyway, his questions were, why would you recommend exchanging some U.S. currency would you recommend exchanging some U.S. currency for Canadian? I'm sure there's stops along the way that can do that. They accept cards. So the answer to that question, and I'd already reached out to Brad and I did answer it, but what I recommend is when you get in, just use your ATM card. Let your bank know that you're traveling. Use your ATM card at a Canadian, at an ATM inside Canada, and that way you get the best exchange rate. And I like to have like at least $100 on me. But everywhere I went, took my credit card. Make sure you have a credit card for gas, which I'm going to go over that in a minute. Number 2 says, would you mind elaborating on not filling up at every gas stop? So I wrote him, and it was kind of confusing. So I do want you to fill up at every gas stop, and we're going to go over that next week in more detail. But let me break this out for you now. So let's just say, Canadian gas pumps are totally different than our gas pumps here in the U.S. You have to pre-authorize the amount that you want. So when you go in, you put your card. If you hit fill up, some pumps hold $250, some of them hold $300. Well, you think about it. You're stopping sometimes 4 and 5 times a day. If you're hit, especially if you're pulling a thing or if you're in a U-Haul or whatever, you're going through gas like there's no tomorrow. So you're stopping a lot. Well, if you're hitting fill up every time, if you within 10 times, you're at $3,000 held on your credit card. And for some people, if you got a $50,000 limit, it's not the end of the world. But, for some people, it's got a $3,000 limit. You really want to watch that. So what I recommend is this. So gas pumps in Canada every gas is sold by the liter. It's not sold by the gallon. So before you get to Canada, start realizing what is your rig getting and what kind of gas mileage is it getting going up. I already took that Alaska word, Christine. I said rig. What is your vehicle getting going up? Figure out what we're going to think in gallons being in the U.S. Figure out what it is. So I'm going to use an example. Let's say that your vehicle is getting 10 miles a gallon. So at every gas stop, I reset the tripometer so I know how far it is from gas stop to gas stop. So let's say you have traveled 100 miles inside of Canada and you're getting 10 miles a gallon, you would need 10 gallons of gas to fill up. So a liter is 3.785. I always just use 3.8 to make the computing easy. So basically you would need 10 gallons of gas. So you want to figure out how many liters you need. So if you need 38 liters, you multiply that times 10, you need 38 liters. Let's say the gas is $1.04 a liter. That's a pretty average price. So then you would just multiply 38 times $1.04, gives you $39.52. A lot of times the pump is like a 25, a 50, a 75. So I would hit 50 for approval. That way you got more than enough to fill up. I hope that makes sense. I hope that clarifies what I was trying to say. Do always fill up, but I did want you knowing what's taking place when you fill up with gas. All right, we got some last topics and then we're done. Staying in Whitehorse, as I just mentioned, it's against their rules right now. I think as long as you don't do anything stupid, you'll be okay from what I'm hearing. Do I recommend it or not? It is the better place to stay. There's no doubt about it. So that's kind of up to you. Number two, I'm going to hammer in again. This very well could be false. I've only heard it from 2 people. I don't know that it'd be true, so don't take it for what it's worth. I am hearing that there is talk of Canada requiring a vaccine to go across for us U.S. citizens starting in June or July. It could be totally false. Don't take it for what it's worth. I'm scared to death of the vaccine. You might love it. Most of my friends love it. I mean, they feel like they won the lottery when they get it. That's personal preference. But if you're like me and you're worried about getting the vaccine, that might be a reason to expedite your trip before June or July. Is the only reason why I'm throwing this out there. We went over the gas. Next week, we're going to go over the routes to take. Just as a reminder, because you might not have watched any of my other videos before, and I'm going to put them in the description of different videos for different things to take. But what is required to come down or go up? Remember, you've got to be going to your primary residence. So for Christina and I, we're having a Alaska driver's license. We can always go up. We can never come south. Or you got to be moving up. So from what I'm hearing, and I'm going to hammer this in every time, so let's say Christina and I wanted to drive to the lower 48 and we were moving. We would have to prove that we ended our lease or we sold our house here in Alaska, and we'd have to prove that we started a new lease or bought a new house in the lower 48, and we'd have to prove that we have a job down there. A lot of people are getting turned around. U-Haul said that 60% of the people are not making it across. I'm hearing a lot of horror stories like that myself, just like my friend Charles. By the way, if you're watching today, Charles, welcome to Alaska. Charles did make it up Tuesday, but he made it up on Alaska Airlines, so it wasn't driving through Canada. So they would not let, if you didn't watch last week, they didn't let Charles through because he had 2 DUIs 35 years ago. Make sure if you have any kind of criminal history whatsoever, no matter how long ago it was, make sure that you're going to be admissible into Canada. So make sure you have that paperwork. Do you have to sleep in your car? We went over that. The answer is no. We're going to go over next week of the best routes, the best fuel stops, the best lodging. And my question to you is, what is your favorite video editing equipment? Because next week, Christina's going to be working all week. All weekend. I'm going to have a ton of time on my hands, not having my sidekick with me. So I'm going to try to dive in and buy the best video editing equipment. I'd love to do better videos than just this cell phone and this free app. I know it's hillbilly, but at least we're getting information out to you guys. So please comment in the description. Send me an email, bigskyblessing@gmail.com. Let me know what your favorite video editing equipment is if you have time with that. And my computer is a MacBook Pro, so I plan on looking at a couple of different options. I'd love to hear what you had to say. Anything else that you guys want to know, whatever you want to see, please let us know. I don't want to do boring videos. I'm doing this 100% to help people that are moving up here or moving back down, and I've got to meet a lot of people. So just real quick, my name's Adam. My email address is bigskyblessing@gmail.com. Again, bigskyblessing, not blessings, @gmail.com. And please send me an email, any questions you have, and I'll share it with everyone so we can all learn together what's going on. I want to hear about your experience along the way. I've heard from 3 people this week. All 3 of them made it up fine. And they all thanked me and said had they not heard this, they probably wouldn't have the documentation they needed, or they wouldn't know where to stay, or they would have slept in their car, or whatever the case may be. So I think these videos are making a positive difference. I hope they are. I want them to be. I'm not looking to get paid or looking for anything out of it. I'm just looking to help everybody. Until this kind of calms down, I'm going to do a video every Sunday. So next Sunday, I'll be posting another video. So I look forward to hearing every week. I'm hearing from new people and cool people, and I'm looking forward to it. Anything you want to see around Alaska. My wife's a flight attendant. I work for the same airline she does. So anything you want to see, let us know. We'll try to come up with a cool video for you guys. And I'm going to start getting editing equipment and make it not so hillbilly. I look forward to seeing you next week. And Christina, you want to jump in with me?
No, I'm just going to show around.
This is where we just pulled off some little road here.
But it's pretty.
It is pretty.
Yes.
It is pretty.
Sunny day.
And I highly recommend the Subaru. It is a good Alaska, Montana car, I can tell you that, with the studded snow tires. So, cars are amazing. All right, we're done. We'll talk to you next week.